stocks. When you get off stage against Bunny, then you'll suddenly see like, oh, there's a lot of gauntlets in my face, and suddenly my stock is gone.
Yeah, I am always so excited to watch Bunny sets because I feel like she's one of the most aggressive players I've ever seen in Brawlhalla, which feels like almost an oxymoron, right? Like aggression in North America don't necessarily go hand in hand all the time, but we're seeing it happen a lot when Bunny's on the screen.
You see an exclamation points. It's Marckiemoo over to the Classic, onto the Mordex here as we get into game number 1. No surprises on the Rayman on the side of Bunny. Gravity Cancel Neutralite into nothing on the side of Marckiemoo, and actually Bunny's the one with the damage advantage.
Oh, okay. Waited for the dodge once again, but Bunny not pulling the trigger, instead wanting to shark out the landing. And again, for as much as I like singing the praises of Bunny and how entertaining she is to watch, Marckiemoo, I don't know. Marckiemoo is kind of approaching GOAT status to me, and he is so sick with that first strike already in a stock that really looked like Bunny was totally in control.
Yeah, I was just waiting on Bunny to find that position for that recovery on those gauntlets, but now it's over to the Axe on the side of Bunny. Just needs one good hit. I don't think a Neutralite will do it, but that's a little bit bigger than a Neutralite. The side stick to take out Marckiemoo.
Okay, keeping this one close, Bunny. Small bit of a weapon starve, at least until the spawn comes through. Can kind of patrol that a little bit until the Gauntlet Mirror gets online. Bunny now with the first opening. Marckiemoo's been dodging a lot after that first opening hit from Bunny. Gonna see if she starts to catch on to that one, but Marckiemoo flips it right back with the Nair, tries to dive kick through. Nothing yet for the edge guard.
Man, that was a really greedy option from Bunny on the bottom side. Went for a gravity cancel sidelight on Wake Up. If Marckiemoo recognizes that, I think that could be really bad for Bunny.
Ooh, no whiff punish. Okay, again, no whiff punish. Marckiemoo really making the most out of what should have been two bad situations. Bunny, dive kick to the wall while the sweat beads go online. It's going to be an awkward exchange, though, off stage. Where is she going?
Did she touch? She did. She still got her jumps. Was out there for quite a while, but the Neutralite, not quite enough, will help reset Bunny, and she's once again back to the wall. She's taking a lot of damage here for not really a lot for Marckiemoo.
Okay, let's see. Did pick up the weapon right before, so the Axe isn't going to be the next pickup for Bunny, and we might not see the weapon for at least a couple more seconds. Bunny now playing on the back, but almost a perfect stock from Marckiemoo, by the way. I mean, he was barely in yellow when he took that stock from Bunny.
She really wants that offstage. You can kind of see the way she's trying to force Marckiemoo over to that right side. Really wants to go out there. Goes for the gravity cancel downlight. Marckiemoo just above it.
Tries to catch the high angle. Marckiemoo this time waiting. Yeah, I like that. Knowing Bunny might want to dip down. Off stage once again. The same setup from Bunny, but this is what I mean. Let's see if she can close this one out. A second ground pound to just slam Marckiemoo into the blast zone. And Bunny, once again, maintaining parity.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of being aggressive when you don't have too much damage, is that you can kind of just do a wake up and keep that threat going. Because Marckiemoo hit Bunny with the recovery, and Bunny was like, okay, another ground pound, we're fine.
Ooh, okay, tries to just collapse on top with the Nair. Bunny off stage once again. I mean, all things considered, Marckiemoo's put Bunny off stage probably like 6-7 times already in this game. That's gonna be game number 1. Great conversions. You cannot deny that Marckiemoo is one of the best out there, but I think Bunny made that really difficult for him.
Yeah, she definitely was scrapping, definitely had some showings there, but it's interesting because maybe this is John's, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I feel like Marckiemoo was not playing like full 100%. Like, I think we've seen more out of Marckiemoo, so I feel like there's a world where Marckiemoo just kind of starts to run over.
Yeah, I think when we start seeing specifically the Mordex Scythe online and we see pick up, read over and over and over again, then we're like, yeah, I mean, I think he's locked in at this point. All that said, though, the scoreboard does show 1-0 in favor of Marckiemoo. Bunny, admittedly, like I believe, is a pretty aggressive player, does put herself in some weird situations trying to close out the stocks, but it does lead to really explosive, clip-worthy moments when it does work out.
Yeah, I think on Bunny's side, maybe needs a little bit of fine-tuning, because she was doing some things where it's like, okay, I get it. You're trying to be really aggressive. You're trying to come out there and say, like, hey, I don't care if I have, like, the safety net or, like, the obvious options of, like, a weapon. I'm going to try to do this unarmed and still just keep that presence and that pressure. But at the same time, I think she was just off the mark on more than a handful of her attacks. And if she kind of dials that in a little bit better, recognizes, like, there was that gravity cancel downlight with her gauntlets and Marckiemoo jumps over it. If she can kind of get that timing and that positioning just right, I think we might see her really pop off, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I think another thing to point out as well, as both of us are kind of glancing over towards the stats from that first game, it looks like we're waiting for our players to load back in for just a moment, but the damage per engagement from Marckiemoo, I mean, look, we talk about how Marckiemoo kind of bursted onto the scene and became this incredible player very, very quickly, as it were. 49 damage per engagement versus Bunny's 28, right? And some of that is attributed to the fact that Bunny is putting herself out there, trying to close out edge guards incredibly early, and if it doesn't work out, engagement over, right? So that's just what happens. Marckiemoo is so efficient at building up damage and just taking stocks where he's expected to take them.
Well, we'll see if he can continue that high damage per engagement as we get into game number 2. Bunny, looking for the weapon spawn, didn't do too much with the axe. That was 7% of her game time was on the axe, and she only put out 25 damage. This time, already looking like a little bit more axe time.
See some of the sharking coming from underneath, and this is exactly what I mean, right? Bunny doesn't want to reset towards the stage. Instead, looking for anything that could make the clip happen, and you got to respect her for it a little bit. Marckiemoo says, you know what? I got clip-worthy moments too, though.
Yeah, got stuffed out a little bit, but Bunny able to pick up a weapon just in time. Marckiemoo with gauntlets still able to pick up the sidelight into the recovery. Despite all the scrapping, it's Marckiemoo who had the damage advantage and gets the first stock.
Absolutely. We'll see. This is some of the strings that we come to know and love from Marckiemoo with that Mordex Scythe. Bunny swats him away off the right side. Is going to be the call out. I love that. It covers so much of the stage as Marckiemoo ascends back up to try to touch the ground.
And one thing that's really nice about specifically that kind of jump off turnaround recovery from the axe is like, usually when you do that the jump off, you're expecting like a ground pound. You're expecting a down air. And so Marckiemoo was like, okay, I'll go for the high option. And Bunny was able to cover, but now we're into the second stocks and Bunny's already getting into the red.
Okay, off stage once again. It wasn't enough to disarm, but the weapon toss will seal it for Marckiemoo. Again, a pretty untouched stock, but this time Bunny started at high damage, like you mentioned. Marckiemoo firmly in the lead.
Okay, just a little jump down air. Trying to see how Marckiemoo reacts out of that down air. Here's a neutral light. Doesn't go immediately for the side light. Instead, once again, waiting off these neutral ones. Ooh, misses the true combo there.
Okay.
I need a little warm-up time.
Okay, that high arc from the weapon toss means Bunny had to kind of dash jump underneath in a little bit of an awkward situation. All that being said, though, Marckiemoo back online with the Scythe where he feels most comfortable. Ooh, really spending a lot of movement to go all the way up there, but doesn't get anything from it.
Okay, side sig, not quite enough. Marckiemoo, wake up down there, puts him close to the wall, or close to the stage. He might just do it unarmed.
Ooh. It looks like he might just do it unarmed. Doesn't even need to connect with the ground pound. The awareness from Marckiemoo to not even try to close that out, present the opportunity for Bunny to get a hit and chase dodge up towards the wall. I mean, so clean from Marckiemoo.
Yeah, it's really... Clean is definitely a very good word for it. Efficient is another word for it. And I hate that those are the only two words I can think of right now. Because that's basically what happened. He's like, okay, ground pound. Okay, gravity cancel side light.
Look at that. He's just gone. He's out.
So just like,
let me slide, bro. I'm done here.
It's like you go to an art museum and there's just like 2 brush strokes and you're like, oh, I don't get.
This is art.
But it is. It's art. It makes me feel emotions. And that's what's happening here. Marckiemoo currently up 2-0.
Every single frame a painting when Marckiemoo is on the screen. We'll see if he can make this a quick 3-0. But, I mean, again, a lot of situations in that previous game where Bunny kind of, once again, put herself in some unfavorable positions, like there was a weapon spawn in the middle of the stage in the previous game and just tried to opt for the edge guard instead. Maybe we see a little bit more restraint from Bunny, but no, I mean, it's always pedal to the metal no matter what. That is a pair of hits from Marckiemoo to close out first strike once again.
I feel like for Bunny, there's just like the green goblin mask is just right next to her constantly. It's like, go off stage.
Ground pound. Gravity cancel.
And that's just what's happening is like she was on stage, she had the good position, and she's like, I got a ground pound. I got to do it. It's in my blood. Gravity cancel down sig comes out from Marckiemoo, not going to hit the mark, but still just a huge damage advantage for him.
Yeah, and we're seeing the same exact situation. Marckiemoo, ooh, remixing a little bit with the mid-air weapon toss to try to extend that combo just a little bit further. Nair doesn't connect thanks to the dodge from Bunny, but I'm sure Markiemoo's clocked that one at this point. Off the wall comes through. It does connect, which absolutely sets up the dunk from Marckiemoo.
Yeah, that was style points all the way. The alley-oop to himself into the ground pound. And Bunny down to her final stock here in game number 3.
Yeah, this looks like Marckiemoo, right? That looks a lot more like Marckiemoo, except for the end. We were like, okay, cool. I like when he goes crazy with the scythe. Maybe taking a page out of Bunny's book, trying to just go for the style points, knowing he has such a long runway.
Yeah, I mean, he has such a lead built up for himself that he can go for some of these goofy, wild plays right now. Still able to pick up into the side air. Wanted to get that weapon toss to connect, but still, again, staying right next to Bunny.
Yep. Off stage, weapon toss forces the burn dodge. Marckiemoo can't connect. There's a weapon all the way on the left side, though. He's trying to force Bunny off of it, so he has some time to pick it up.
Okay, side light comes out from Bunny. Staying underneath. Neutral light will catch the landing there from Marckiemoo.
Once again, Bunny waits for it, but doesn't just pull the trigger on recovery.
Whoa.
GCD light to get around. Bunny is doing something crazy, and it works out.
Okay, yeah, she did get back to the stage. That seemed like such an odd move in the air. What? Stage spike, Marckiemoo doesn't get the touch. Bunny suddenly brings it down to final stocks.
And I mean, that was so cool. And it's all worth it at that point when it's cool. Come on now. Okay, Bunny. Maybe some signs of life, but for how long? Once again, put into a position where super high damage. This is just signature one off-stage interaction. Could just seal it.
Yeah, I mean, at this rate, like, a gauntlet neutral light might just be enough. Bunny knows it. Playing real safe here. There's the neutral light, and that's the KO. Marckiemoo 3-0 over Bunny.
Wow. I mean, hey, listen, if you're in that position and you get a clip like that, worth?
Yeah, kind of. Honestly, like, you're playing against the top person in the region. The least you can ask for is a nice little clip. You can show that clip to your family, show like, hey, for Mother's Day, I got this hype clip.
True.